As we have discussed in several previous Artifact of the Week segments, Ernest Thompson Seton was an artist, naturalist, writer, and one of the founders of the Boy Scouts of America. We've produced a biography video about Seton, and Artifact of the Week videos have featured his significant paintings, Triumph of the Wolves and The Pursuit, that hang here at the National Scouting Museum. We've told the story of Seton and Lobo, king of the Carampaw, and how that encounter here in northeastern New Mexico transformed Seton from a bounty hunter looking to eradicate wolves to a preservationist, finding majesty and splendor not only in wolves, but in the greater outdoors as well. But there is so much more to Seton's artwork, which we will learn about in this edition of Artifact of the Week. Born in England and raised in Canada, Ernest Thompson Seton spent his time as a youth in the woods of the Don River, studying and drawing the animals he saw in the area. Seton attended the Ontario College of Art in 1879, winning a scholarship in art to attend the Royal Academy in London, England in 1880. Returning to Canada, Seton received his first commission for his original artwork in 1881 at the age of 21. His customer was Rolfe Smith & Company, a leading etching and lithography studio in Toronto. They offered him $5 each for a series of 12 Christmas cards featuring birds common to the Toronto area. Seton said in his autobiography, "They were finished in 6 weeks and delivered. They promptly paid me in $5 bills, $60. It was the biggest sum I had ever had in my hands at one time. I hurried out of the office lest the manager should change his mind." Seton added, "It was a great pleasure for me to do them. They were the first work of the kind next to my heart that had brought me any money. It was an inspiring event." In 1884, Seton joined the Art Student League in New York City on January 7th when he enrolled in a night class. This is where he met Daniel Carter Beard for the first time, and it was also his first experience with a life class and models. Seton said Beard was an extremely popular, as well as being a clever draughtsman. He was jolly and full of good stories. Seton's fourth drawing in the class was highly praised by his professor and selected as one of the best in the class for that week. In 1891, Seton was appointed provincial naturalist by the government of Manitoba and published The Birds of Manitoba. This was the first of many books he wrote and illustrated about Manitoba over the next few decades. Also in the 1890s, Seton studied at the Académie Julian in Paris and was elected an associate member of the Royal Canadian Academy of Arts in 1894. Now, Seton did spend some time gaining a formal education in art, but it was his lifelong love of the outdoors and wildlife, coupled with the countless hours of time that he spent in life study and he spent drawing the animals and scenes he observed and experienced, that made him one of the most authoritative and respected wildlife illustrators of his time. In the collection of the National Scouting Museum, we have more than 3,500 pieces of Seton art, ranging from the large paintings Triumph of the Wolves and The Pursuit to original illustrations used in the books he authored, as well as a collection of assorted drawings, oil paintings, watercolors, and illustrations. The collection is also home to the many samples of marginalia, the artwork that he added to the margins of his books. The collection also has Seton's paint palette and art box. As you see the remaining traces of his paints, you can almost imagine him transforming one of his many studies into the final painting he was creating. You can learn a lot more about Ernest Thompson Seton and his legacy by visiting the Seton Legacy Project website at ernestthompsonseton.com. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us next time as we continue to learn more about the history of the BSA through the collection of the National Scouting Museum and Artifact of the Week.